Make sure it's working properly. Yes, it is. It's a delay, so I have to take a second to make sure. All right, everyone. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are, whatever time it is where you are. Yes. So just to give it time for people to come in, if you all are coming in, I did move back the Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco video just because I'm going to probably record that after I wrap up with this live. So they'll go out tomorrow. You know, I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot that this was Mother's Day weekend, and I just kind of like let it slip my mind and went on about my business. So it's a busy weekend, and I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to do it. So it'll probably go up after this. It'll be up on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to you all. If you are here in the United States, you know, I believe it's Sunday. So I'm going to be busy with that and just enjoying time with my family. So today, though, I wanted to do this reading. We'll play back this video that I did a while ago. What did I originally do this? I did this on March 8th. I originally recorded this video, and I'm going to prove it to you by showing something really quickly. Let's see, can I show it? Can I display it? I don't know if it'll display. Oh, no, it won't. How can I do it? I just wanted to prove that I recorded it on the 8th of March, because depending on what we get, there might be some things that actually come up true in this, and there might be some things where I was off, because as you all know, the Pope recently passed away, and they did the whole conclave thing where they have now elected a new Pope. And so I want to see if there's any things from my predictions from this video that I didn't post. I don't know why I just didn't post this and delayed it or whatever, but I didn't post it. So I thought it would be cool to kind of go back and look at it together and see if there's anything that comes out. We can also chat about some other current events that's going on as well. You can leave some recommendations for other readings you would like to see. But mainly I wanted to look at this video and see if there's anything that's coming up that actually happened. So yeah, I'm going to pull this out some more so now I can take up more of the screen. Let's see. I really wanted to show that I recorded this when I said I did. Oh, maybe I can do that. Hold on 1 second. I think I can do it one way. Let's see, let's see. I'm going to see if this works. If not, we're going to move on and just play it. And I'll just do like a screen capture of it later as proof that I recorded this when I said I did. So 1 second, let's see if we can get it to work. It's not that one. You want... For whatever reason, it doesn't play my media player screen. But it will show my files, which is crazy. I think, oh, you wouldn't show my files because it's supposed to be like a privacy thing, but no, it shows that for sure. Yeah, the picture doesn't show on here really well to show that, hey, this was recorded on 3/8. I'm trying to see if that was something I could have did, but it doesn't. Oh, no. Oh well, so I'll just do a screen grab of this and just show it to you all later because yeah. I'll just show it later as proof. It'll be a it'll just be a different post. But yes, let's get into this playback. I'm gonna blow this up a little bigger. You should see it a little bigger on your end in just a second. And then I'm gonna play this. We're gonna see. Hello everyone, welcome back to LotusMaje Divination. If you are new here, thank you for coming on in, for liking, subscribing, and sharing, and also making sure you hit that notification bell. Today you see the thumbnail, you see the title. Today I will be doing a reading on Pope Francis. I know recently he was going through something with pneumonia. I think they say he's still in the hospital. He hasn't fully recovered, but people have at least heard his voice, or he did some kind of like some voice recordings for people so they can know that he was doing just fine, that he's still running the Vatican from the hospital, but that he is responding well to pneumonia medication or some health regimen that they have him on right now in order to get him back up to good health. But I know with the recent health scare that he has been under, some people have concerns on what this could mean for the Vatican moving forward, because I know they're supposed to be celebrating like the Jubilee. That is unprecedented for them to be providing so many updates in regards to his health. Some people are concerned that there could be some kind of coup going on, if there is some kind of conspiracy behind this. And I just want to get like a little energy reading to see what's going on with Pope Francis and what is coming up for the Vatican and the papacy moving forward, or the papacy. Did they say papacy or papacy? Correct me down in the comments. Moving forward. And so, yeah, that's why I wanted to do this reading. So I know I'm late on it, but I didn't want to do it. So again, this is going to be a bit of a delay, but I wonder, do people still think there's some kind of coup going on still with the whole conclave election? Because I know some people were saying that they might have rushed through the voting just so they could get their phones back. That was one of the like jokes that I seen, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna play this video again. I'm gonna blow it back up so you all can see it, and we're gonna finish it. Okay. Right when he was sick, I didn't want to seem like I don't know, it just seemed tasteless to kind of do it right when he was sick. For whatever reason, I kind of wanted to see what was going to come out about that first. So now that it looks like he's on the mend, I'm interested in doing this reading. With that being said, I have done a reading on, well, not him, but the Vatican before, I think. If so, I'll link it to here. I'm pretty sure I have, unless I'm just making that up or I didn't post it for whatever reason. Maybe it was some little private reading I did. I don't know who I would have done that for, though. I'm pretty sure I did it for YouTube. But before I get into this reading, please note that all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. I am simply an intuitive reader who uses tarot cards, astrology, numerology, colors, my own intuition to try to interpret and understand the messages that Spirit deems me worthy to receive and to relate to you all. So if there is something that I get wrong in this reading, I am okay with that. If it's something that I get right in this reading, I'm okay with that. I am only human. I can only relay what I can as best as I can. Energies are, energies can change. So, I could be getting something now at this moment in time, but something happened in the universe that makes it all change. So with that being said, exercise your powers of discernment, people. I tell you this all the time. Don't just go into my readings just like, oh yeah, she said it, so it's no, that's not what I want you to do. I am not saying that I am 100% correct. I am just relaying the energies that I am getting, okay, to the best of my abilities. So let's see what's coming up here for Pope. And what may be coming up for the Vatican moving forward, or Catholic system entirely. So we do have the skin here, the completion, the world card coming up in reverse. That he is still being called on to do, I think, here. We also have the Five of Metal dealing with budget. Also, this is also dealing with the lungs and the I want to say, is that the large intestines here? We're talking about health. It's a lot of metal going on here. Resources, resources. Then we also have Cinnamon. I'm getting, there's more than just something going on with his lungs. One more card here. And then we also have the Tower, upheaval, the kidneys. So it's crazy to me that it's starting off with a major arcana and it's finishing with a major arcana, dealing with a card here. I keep getting something about this. You know, in my Elon Musk, no, that wasn't Elon Musk. That was in my Zelensky and Trump reading, which I'll link up here as well. There's something about a new, and I want to say like world order, a new era, a new age that we're stepping into here. I think this is all kind of just like, I think there's some big major events that are just kind of like, I often say energies are meant to, you know, can change. Nothing is like written in stone, but in this case, it seems like certain things are just meant to happen. It may not be with that exact person. It may not be at the exact date. It may not be under the exact same circumstances, but it feels like there's certain dominoes that have to fall in order for things to evolve, essentially. And this makes me feel, whatever this energy is that I'm getting, it makes me feel like there's something here that, you know, with his illness, there was something that was meant to happen, that was tied to this illness or his absence, or as a result of his illness or something. Then we have the Ten of Waters here, dealing with happiness. It's usually dealing with family. There is, of course, a lot of worry with this. I know a lot of his followers, or what do they call them, parishioners? I'm not familiar with it like that, okay? I am religiously, I am a heathen when it comes to things. I don't know. I am ignorant. So there's that. And then we also have inspiration coming up in reverse. I think this is putting a damper on a time where a lot of people are looking to like big spiritual leaders like the Pope, in a time of like so much darkness and uncertainty. I think there's something to that with having this inspiration card come up. And then we also have Ear, the lover's relationship. Let's see if I'm going to get any more clarity on these cards here. I was talking, I forgot I muted my mic so the video could play. But take note that this happened around a time when, you know, it happened on Easter. A lot of people took that as a sign. You know, a lot of people were kind of upset about, you know, Trump posting that tasteless picture of him being Pope right after he, Pope Francis died. There was the whole thing that's kind of going on where there's a lot of political maneuvers going on in the background. I believe Zelensky and Trump even met up at the time at Pope Francis, I think it was funeral or viewing or something like that, and they spoke. And this happened after, you know, they had that big blow up at the White House where, you know, all bets were off, and now the mineral deal has been signed. You know, there's just been like a lot of other things that's been going on. And just take note that I said there, it kind of feels like this was like a domino that had to fall in order to usher in something new. So that's all I wanted to point out. Sorry I had my mic muted, but I'm going to mute it again. I'm going to blow up this video so you all can see it again, so we can finish it out. We only have like 20 minutes left, so. All these big decks I've been using lately. I have to like shuffle it to the side because baby, I'm spreading my hands to try to shuffle these. It's just no bueno. Okay. Okay, I am going to count this one because it flipped over. And I mentioned this before in another video. I don't want anybody to be upset that I'm using the Heaven or Hell deck in this reading. It just felt right. I didn't totally go off of the cards that I have. It felt right to use this deck for the reading. So yeah, don't be trying to lynch mob me and stuff. Okay, it just felt right. Just go with the reading and be okay with that. All right, and we will continue forward. Oh nope, did the wrong thing. Hold on. And this is dealing with vice with the skin, or the world card, religious and general conflicts. It was a card that flew off to the side that was sticking up here. I just flipped it over to see what it said. Vice. I don't get that there's a... I do want to issue a trigger warning at this part because if I remember correctly, I said something going back to the whole Catholic Church and, you know, the allegations that has been brought out against them with, you know, them not protecting children, but they're protecting like the pastors or the preachers. I forget what they called them, but the perpetrators of the crime, and a lot of people were upset about that, and I believe they also, you know, had to pay out for it. If I'm not getting my religious wires crossed up, but trigger warning, if I remember correctly, that is something that comes up. So just, yeah. Something that he, or maybe it is, maybe it's something, I think maybe it's something with like some kind of disagreement, maybe something here that he hasn't completed because there's something that he really wants to move the church forward in, and because he hasn't quite achieved it yet, that's why Vice is showing that there's something that he... Oh, sorry, you heard that bump. That was my dog. It feels like there's something that he wants to achieve, something he wants to like go back to, something he's been pushing to finish. He really wants to execute and get done before, you know, his tenure, I guess you can kind of say, as Pope is up. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain it to you like this. He kind of feels like he's pulling a horse to drink because yes, he understands the value and the purpose of tradition, but I think there's like a tradition or yeah, the best thing is it feels like there's some kind of tradition or a usual process that the church typically follows that he wants to kind of like abolish. He wants to kind of do away with or break down a barrier to. Like it shouldn't be. It's almost like he's like it shouldn't be this hard to ascertain or something. And then we have divine blessings here. Is the church running into financial issues? Is there some financial trouble with the church? Then we also have unhappy voyages, but okay. Love and wisdom. Charms, love and wisdom, the Ten of Metal. That reads all okay on that front. And protection here. The Tower. Is there something he's trying to like insulate the church from before it happens? Oh, okay. I don't know if this is in relation, but I remember I just Here's another thing. I mentioned something about the church running into. I'm just gonna cover up this here because I don't know if YouTube is gonna have a fit about that. But I mentioned something about the church running into financial issues, and also I don't remember, but I feel like don't the Vatican also run their own bank, or did they kind of get into some trouble recently or anything? Let me know in the comments. Because now that I'm sitting here and listening back to it, I wonder if that's something I was picking up on. But yeah, I'm going to finish let my past self channel what I was getting at the time. Earlier is the church has it been running into some kind of monetary issue. And then I remembered not too long ago, didn't they settle some allegedly, because I'm not sure. Didn't they just settle some kind of lawsuit dealing with the amount of indiscretion that has been taking place on behalf of some of the people who are in some of the most trusted positions within their church? Wasn't that them? It kind of feels like something about a rebrand. Yeah, it feels like something like a rebrand is happening, and there's a concern because of a lot of what, like, yeah, you have those people who believe who what they believe, but then you have a lot of people kind of like I don't really know if I can still follow this. I don't know if I can still pay into this, because a lot of the press that has come out about y'all. Am I tripping? Wasn't it them? I'm pretty sure that was them. I could be wrong. Yeah, and if it again, it feels like there's something he's trying to like insulate, protect the church around his religion around before certain things happen, because like it's kind of like he see the writing on the wall. And look at this. Delay is the underlying power here, slavery and bondage. And then we also have cowardly actions. There's something that they're kind of like afraid of at this point. And again, it feels like there's something he has been working to, or, you know, a lifelong dream of his that, you know, he always wanted to achieve. And once he became the Pope, of like, there's something that I want to enact. There's something I want to start. There's something crucial that I want to change. Because I think it will benefit us in the long run. I think it will help. Minimize guilt. What else do we have here? We have develop stronger concentration. And then what jumped in my arm? Transform anger. See, yeah, this makes, the transform anger, the minimize guilt, those two cards mainly make me feel like there's some big rebrand on the horizon for the Vatican, or I'm sure they're also with the Catholic Church or something like that, right? They're like the head of, is it Catholicism is how it's pronounced? Yeah, it feels like some transmutation kind of going on. Like, let's alchemize this energy. Let's like not try to avoid it. But I think there's a lot of people that say, no, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't acknowledge it. It's almost on like some royal family. What do they say? Don't complain, don't explain. I think is their policy typically. Don't complain, don't explain kind of thing. It almost feels like along those lines, which wouldn't surprise me because they run neck and neck. Essentially, they're some of like the most oldest forms of like rulership right now. Develop stronger concentration. I don't know what this could be. I do want to note in this, I'm not sure what this is trying to deliver, but I just noticed it's like an eagle in the back of this here. There's like some kind of bird, some kind of eagle-eye thing going here. I don't know, something's coming through about that, but I'm not sure what I'm getting is what it is. I don't know how to explain it per se, but I just want to put a pin in that. I just want to note that in this video. Yeah. Anybody who's like up on their symbolisms, what do eagles typically represent? I think there's some kind in the fact that I was pointing out something with the eagle and I was saying America, and I was originally thinking that it was probably something dealing with like American influence or somebody from America being involved. I mean, I thought it was something like where you know, America does what America does best and try to infiltrate and ruin something. But I wonder if it was alluding to, hey, the next pope is going to be from America. Even though from what I understand, this man comes from, I want to say it's Boston. He spent most of his time in, oh, what was it? I know he spent most of his time across seas. I want to say it was probably Italy. I'm not sure, but he spent most of his time across seas, even though he's here from America. So I wonder if that's what was coming up for me, but because I'm ignorant and I'm just kind of like channeling, I didn't make that connection at the time. So let's just point that out as well. Okay, back to the video. Kind of symbolism with that. I think that's what it is. And I don't know what they typically represent for people. Okay. Lastly, let's see what's going to be coming up for the future. Vatican Church. What's going to be coming up here with the Pope and the Vatican Church in the future. And then we're going to wrap this up. Oh, I have my eyes closed trying to concentrate. I'm not counting those. Sorry. Let's see if they come back out. I'm going to count that one. Put these in there like so. Yeah, there's something about money. There's some kind of concern about money, or they're trying to earn back some kind of money here. Again, a rebrand is like the thing that's on the tip of my tongue that keeps coming up. It feels like rebrand. We got to change some things. And maybe that's what Pope Francis, is like probably his big concern of like, I can't just go out like this, because there's something I feel that will really help the church change or like turn around, and I want it to happen before I can just, you know, step away with peace of mind kind of thing. And there goes that mistrust card again. I don't know if they have lost a lot of members or followers, parishioners, whatever you want to call them. I don't know if there's been a lot of that going on, but I think that, you know, that's tied into each other. I just see like, it's like a lot of people have been leaving the church. So of course, you know, the tides have gone down. It's kind of like that. And I think there's a lot of concern around that. Like, what do we do? And then we also have the Ten of Water, happiness. Ooh, people are not happy with what's been going on. So this this Five of Wood with the pettiness, it makes me think again. I think there's some radical changes. The Pope, or, you know, somebody that's there in the, I guess I want to call it like his congregation, essentially, because I don't know what they would call it, his cabinet, his congregation, whatever, his administration, that really wants to do some radical changes and feel like the changes need to happen now, when there's so much uncertainty and so much mistrust, and they're like losing out on money and things are shaky for them on the horizon. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's something they're seeing that, I don't know, it just feels like there's something that they see that they're like, we need to quickly course correct on. Like, we see the iceberg, we need to course correct now, because there's only so much time we have before, you know, yeah, this is what it looks like on top, but who knows what the grumblings are underneath with this iceberg. You know, they're bigger underneath than they look above. So we need to quickly come up with some kind of game plan before we're completely crashing out here. And it feels like with this pettiness card, it feels like a lot of bureaucratic tape. It feels like a lot of, you know how people can be trapped by tradition, by, yeah, I want to trapped by tradition, by customs, by this is just the way we do it. And it's like, okay, just because that's the way you've done it for X amount of years don't mean that that's the only way. We can change this. It's not like it's written in stone or something somewhere. Like, we can't change this. Like, who said this had to be the only way? And with the pettiness card coming up here, it just feels like there's a lot of like behind the scenes squabbling that may be going on, or like power plays, a bureaucratic tape, a lot of like traditional stuff that is holding things up, a lot of like beliefs that are getting in the way of change. This pettiness cards makes me feel like that. Then we have, look, the Chariot, the eyes. This is sometimes dealing with movement. This is dealing with, could deal with actual vehicle, or again, change. Success here again. if the Chariot also to me can represent somebody who is, I think of like a general taking stock of what's the ebb and flow of the field, what's kind of like the rhythm of the field. Do I need to go back to the drawing board? Are we losing people? Which way are the tides turning? Because I need to know, sometimes you have to know when to retreat in order to battle again the next day. So that's the other thing here. There seems to be like they're backed up into some kind of corner, and again, we need to figure out how to course correct and change things before it gets worse. And then we have the home card here, the Eight of Metal, coming up in reverse. So, and it's not going to be easy. I think it's an easy answer, but it's not easy for them to abide by, because again, it feels like that bureaucratic tape, the tradition, maybe some moral beliefs or religious beliefs are getting in the way of them actually creating and having the change that they want. Okay. Let's see what else is coming up here for the future. Future me here again. The other thing that I want to mention in this reading as well is that I spoke of something like there being like bureaucratic tape, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there was something mentioned during the conclave election, or whatever you want to call it, for the next pope, that some people were afraid that they were probably going to elect somebody who was pretty traditional, just because that seems to be the tide of what the world's, I don't know what you want to call it, the world stage is kind of on right now. But it seems like they chose somebody who's kind of moderate. Some people do say, or at least people here in America say, that this guy is very progressive, but to me he seems pretty moderate to me. So yeah, I wonder if that was again something that I was picking up on but didn't quite hit the nail on. So I had so many cards trying to pop out right then. Ooh. So I am definitely going to count this card because it landed on it. So that's what I'm going to count. And look at how many cards just exploded with this wealth. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know. Let me stick this down here and see why. Maybe this will give me some more insight too. So we have fertility and fruitfulness. So it looks to me like there is going to be some kind of like multiplier, some kind of duplication, some maximizing going on here in the future. Okay, love and wisdom, physical and moral imperfections. We have new beginnings. We have jealousy and discretion and lie-telling and protection of criminals. Anybody? 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 Let me mix these up in here a little bit. Rectification, mistrust. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I gotta look up that word. I feel like I know it, but I don't know it at the same time. But to me, it just kind of feels like almost like along the lines of like judgment. Like you are going to have to answer for the wrongdoings, the misgivings that you have done. Like don't avoid it, don't ignore it, and answer the call. The call is coming from inside the house kind of thing. It's like you need to address it, don't ignore it. And that's the only way you're going to move forward, because otherwise people are going to continue to have like that mistrust. But let's see if I'm right here when I look up this definition. What does rectify mean? Okay, what are you? Undertaking and completing a mission. So maybe something is not going to happen quite the way that they want it to. Undertaking and completing missions with the happiness card. Or maybe there's something in some, again, it just kind of feels like maybe we want it to happen this way, but it's not going to quite roll out that way, maybe. Um, yeah. Something isn't going to probably roll out the way that they want. Or maybe there's a concern people have of like, if we answer to, if we admit it, I think that's the thing people are fighting against. Like, we can't admit this. I think there's another scandal. It may not just be the whole, people mistrusting them because of the, allegedly the sexual assault allegations and things like that, or the SA allegations. It could be something that maybe there's another like scandal or something that they've been keeping secret, that people kind of like always had an inkling maybe that they have been aware of. And I think they're concerned of like, if we admit to this, it's a slippery slope for everything else. Maybe that's what the concern is. I think I'm on to something with that. Look, intellectual talent. Is it something that they know? Divine comfort and self-made individuals. I feel like there's something that they know that they don't want the public to know that they know. Or they're concerned about the public finding out, like what it could mean for them. Focus on higher truths. One more card here. Access clear thinking. Yeah, I think there is a lot of do we or don't we? But if we do this, what about this? If we don't do this, what about this? It kind of feels like they're on a precipice of changing forever, or condemning themselves to like falling behind on the times, essentially. That's the best way I can explain it. And look at this. It says, temper your criticism for the underlying card here. A lot of contemplation. A lot of contemplation going on here. I don't know what the church is, what the Vatican, the Pope, what they're dealing with, but it really this feels like a very big, a very huge decision that they're making. It's gonna like make or break them. It feels very integral to the role and how they are going to forever be shaped, moving forward in the future, or like remembered. I don't know what this is because I'm an outsider. I can only tell you the feeling that I'm getting here. But I definitely feel like there's something here about like a rebrand or like addressing some kind of conflict or scandal, whether we address it or not. I feel is something that's coming up for them for sure. Or another scandal or addressing the past one, something along those lines. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for this reading. Anyone who is, you know, a follower of the church or, you know, have more insight, please divulge more in the comment section because I'm kind of lost on what this is that I'm picking up on. Let me know what you think it is. I can only relay the energies that I'm kind of getting. I really can't pinpoint. For my Pope Francis reading, and as you can see, and as I was explaining as we were going through the video, there were some things that were kind of like popping up at the time, and now that we're kind of like about a month ahead, you know, into the future from when I originally did that reading, we can kind of see what has happened and what has happened, hasn't happened, or what I might have like brought up, but at least I don't have clarity for. So as you can see, the thumbnail here on my mini display on the screen, we're going to look forward and see what's coming up for Pope Leo and what may be coming up during his reign. I did a swap-a-roo on y'all. Y'all seen them other cards the whole time and didn't know. But yes, we're going to look into this and see if there's something that comes up with Pope Leo and his leadership and anything that maybe will be important to the public to kind of like keep an eye on or watch or to know. Again, I am not Catholic, so I don't have a lot of buy-in for this, but I do know that it is a very old and powerful and what's the other word, like credible is kind of like the word I want to say, institution in our world. So yes, let's look at this and see what's coming up. Let's see here. Okay, so this one card here, we have the Queen of Coins. You know, I've been seeing the Queen of Coins pop up a couple of times now for different little readings I've been doing, because it also came up in the reading I did on Spain and the blackouts. So I've been getting the Queen of Cups a few times now. I mean, Queen of Coins. Okay, what was this that flipped over? We have two cards here. We have the Two of Wands and then the Five of Coins. Ooh, Temperance. Okay, what is this that immediately started flipping over as I started to shuffle? It's a lot. Well, it's not too many. It's about 5 cards. I just want to know. We have the Strength. We have, what is this? 10 of Swords. We have the Two of Wands. Again, they came up again. So usually the Two of Wands speak of a passionate decision versus the passionate decisions, kind of like the heart versus the brain. I feel like when I usually get the Two of Wands, and sometimes the Two of Wands is also deciding on where to go moving forward in the future. It's usually like the lead up to your travel, like you're doing the travel plans, you're scoping things out, but you haven't quite moved yet. And then we also have the Knight of Coins in reverse here, one of the more slower moving knights. So there is some hesitancy about something when it comes to the form. I'm going to say it this way, because I don't think it's necessarily money, but in some kind of form or way that they have currency. Currency can come in many different shapes. If you ask me personally, you have power, you have money, you have influence, you have, you know, intellect. influence, power, materialism. It comes in many different forms for me. And then again, that 5 of coins is coming up again. And sometimes the 5 of coins, it does speak to kind of that, it is like the religious card to me, because I often think of like the mother and child that's standing outside the church, you know, in the traditional tarot. They're standing outside the church, they're cold, they're beggars, they're looking for help. And one place that they know they can kind of find some comfort or somebody to kind of take it easy on them is if they go to the church, they go to their spiritual altar. And then also sometimes with the 5 of coins card, it's also kind of like the left out Nicole, being set apart from everything else and not being included and roped in. So just want to point those out. Again, I don't think I explained too much about the 10 of Swords, but that's a brutal ending. Sometimes it's things that need to end because you won't let go of it, like mentally. And then the Strength card is exactly that. Like, do you have the strength, the ire, the passion to actually pull away from something, to control it? I also usually think of it as like dominating or knowing when to pull out your id and when to put it away if you are any kind of like psychology majors. You think id is spelled like ID. Some people refer to it as like ego. And then again, that 9 of Swords, so leading up to that 10 of Swords, and look what comes up as the underlying energies. We have the Strength card in reverse. That 2 of Wands is coming up throughout this entire reading. So this is going back to something that I said earlier in the previous one. In the previous one where I was stating that there seems to be a precipice here of, are you going to stay with tradition or are you going to move forward the way that you need to? Are you going to make the decisions that need to be made? And then, oh, look at that, the Knave of Clubs. I'm just saying, his name is Pope Leo. And when I think of Leos, you know, yeah, they friendly, they'll smile in your face, they'll get along, but they are very much about self. Okay? So just want to point that out. Now let's see if I can get some more information here. Some more details. I think there's definitely, again, to me, it just keeps feeling like there's some kind of decision that needs to be made when it comes to the Vatican and its place in the world and what is Catholicism. I still haven't learned how to say it, or, you know, those as Catholics, how do you move forward? What's going to be our new, I want to say angle for a lack of a better word, but kind of what's going to be our angle, what's going to be our brand, what's going to be our positioning moving forward now that we have gone through this tumultuous, these kind of like tumultuous issues. You know, we've lost our Pope, we've had this big scandal, you know, I believe they even had some things come up during the whole COVID-19 thing. You know, a lot of the old money powers, world powers are changing. You know, it's a shift that's going on. It's like, how do we want to proceed and move forward to make sure that we're still a stable institution on the world stage moving forward? And so just to note, I had the Trick and Mystery card that came up in reverse. In reverse here, and they kind of like popped up in the deck, but we're going to see if either one of these are supposed to stick. And I'm going to put them back in here like this. See, sticking out here, we have balance. Balance. Again, So with balance, and then you have the Queen of Coins coming up here, and it really speaks like money check. What's the balance on your account right now? Like, what's the goodwill buy-in that you have from people? Where is your actual standing, your power? Do you actually know the wealth and the amount of the power or influence that you hold in the world right now? You need to kind of go back and evaluate. That's something that, I'm sorry, it just keeps coming up to me. Also notice that the balance card comes up with the scales, justice, Libra, is all other alternatives that could come up here when it comes to earth cards. And this is earth airs, this is kind of intellect in the everyday homely things, if we want to point that out. I'm interested on why the Temperance card is here, because the Temperance do give me very like religious implications in this reading, but we're gonna see what's, oh, mystery. Yeah, that makes sense. Mystery in this particular deck, when it comes to the Wild Mystic Oracle, it does deal with like rituals, traditions, occult practices, things that are hidden, you know, of course, from the public, things that the public may not quite understand. So again, this is making me go back to the previous video I did on Pope Francis when he was sick, stating that it seems like there's something that, of course, the Vatican knows, or maybe like old traditional practices that they have in place that may no longer be serving them moving forward. So mystery card. And then we also have the Provide, which is the tourist here, the cow. I could be really stretching it here, but I also wonder if this is something in connection with that red cow stuff. I don't know why it came up. I'm just throwing it out there. It could just be for the cow. But I'm just going to say that. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, whatever. But the other thing here would Provide, again, the Vatican, the Catholic Church, is supposed to provide religious and spiritual guidance and solace to their congregation. Have they been offering that lately? Do people really feel like they have value in that anymore? Do they trust them to still provide them that guidance and insight? And I don't think it's just them. I think it's religion overall. Like, yes, you have more and more people every day that join different religious factions and things like that, but then you also have people more and more every day who have gotten further and further from religion. So yeah, I just wonder, it's like, how do we provide? What is the intricate balance that we can place here and still providing the spiritual guidance and leadership and power and insight that we have always offered, while still probably remaining true to the essence of what our institution represents, without changing it so much to just kind of like fit a worldview. But to me, I feel like that's done and gone, because how many times have religion changed, especially when I think about Christianity, how much it has changed over time. Well, Christianity is a master of Catholicism, some people would say, but that's not me. Just saying, some people would say that. So religion has changed several times over the years to kind of fit a certain narrative, or to fit in certain cultures and things like that. So I don't know what would be a hang up with that. But you know, you always have those people that fight against change because, you know, it's scary. And we're not going to count those. Patience, but it's coming up crosswire like this. Does he not have patience, Pope Leo here? The Nine of Swords. Again, this is leading into something where it's kind of like, all right, y'all, make it or break it. Do as I say. But I don't have the patience, or we're up against the clock. So what are we going to do? Again, speaking to like we're heading towards that cliff. And look at the underlying energies here. We have memory, instinct, and then consume. Oftentimes, many empires, yes, Sometimes outside influences give it that little nudge it needs, but oftentimes they crumble from the inside before they crumble from the outside. And you take that as you want. Okay. Now let's look into any ending messages here. Let's see if we can get some archetypes of bead on some people that'll be influencing this situation. I like how that card flipped all around my hand before it fell out. I think I'm going to shuffle these again because how many cards is this? 3, and they all fell in a clump. So we have slave. As you can see, it came up in the reverse. I just turned it upright so I can read it. It says, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. As they elected him to kind of make the tough decisions so then they can cry about it later. Move these up. And then we have the priest, reverse. And it says, for the shadow attributes, violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. It seems like this is continuing from the Pope Francis reading, to be honest. Teacher, light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Maybe he's going to have more of a teaching kind of approach when it comes to his leadership, I guess you would say. And then we have child eternal, also light attributes, which says determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Doesn't surprise me that he does have some kind of spiritual insight, some spiritual sight here. And then we also have hedonist, light attributes, inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Okay. We're going to try this again because these 4 are all clumped out together. We're going to throw these back in here and mix it in, mix it in. Oh. Student. So funny we had teacher earlier. Now we have student. Humility and devotion to knowledge, openness, and lifelong learning. I feel like I'm getting more cards about him. Then we also have God. Very fitting. Very fitting. It says light attributes reads benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. And the underlying energy, mediator. Also says gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. We also have the monk and nun. All of these are very religious. I like it. But it does come up with shadow attributes. So it says negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. I think that's where the traditional hymn is coming in at. The excessive piety. Is that going to kind of distract him from what he needs to do because he's so focused on the world after? And then we have the seeker, which is also like attributes, which says thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Okay, I'm seeing why he has student and teacher here. He's definitely still learning a lot here. He is maybe still refining his thoughts and his process on certain things, which I like. You know, an older person and you still not completely stuck in your ways, but I think there is some things here where he's like, no, we have to hold that for sure. And then we have Messiah, which says serving humanity with humility. So he does have a lot of religious and light attributes about himself, a lot of light respect, a lot of, again, spiritual influence in his life. I think there's also a thing here where they probably elected him because they were hoping in a way he would be a more moderate version of Pope Francis, where he would still lead them in the way that they needed to and that they see people have kind of responded, but still also holding on to those traditional values and practices that they hold dear. So again, as I said, to me, he feels more moderate. I know some people say they feel like he's very progressive, but so far to me, he feels more moderate, but who knows? Things may change as, you know, his leadership progresses. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. Let me know if there's anything that I said in this reading kind of popped out to you, or that's, you know, kind of hit the hammer on the head, hit the nail on the head for you here. And yeah, share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Yeah, so that's it. I'm not picking up on anything else. I thought maybe another message was coming through, but no. So, yep, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell selecting into all, because I do have a couple of videos that I've been posting out. I have posted throughout the entire week, I think. And there's definitely some more coming up in the future. If you want to see them, make sure to hit the notification bell so you see the next time I upload, because I do have a sporadic schedule. So with all of that being said, you all go enjoy your Mother's Day weekend. Enjoy your day, your night, your evening, whatever time it is where you are. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.